There I am, boots heavy with mud, standing at the ragged edge where a dam once held back the wild heart of the valley. Now, a furious river carves its vengeance through the glittering rows of Stone Creek's new homes, homes the HOA built, trespassing on the bones of my inheritance. Freeze the frame. That's me, Elias Thorne. The man who watched a flood erase a kingdom of cul-de-sacs. You want to know how I got here, why the water ran free, why no one stopped it, and what made me let it all unfold. It began with a betrayal. A theft of blood and legacy. A war I never asked for, but one I swore I'd see through to the bitter end. When my grandfather, Amos Thorne, died, he left me more than land. He left me a legacy, acres of wild, breathing country, fields wide as hope, woods deep enough to swallow secrets. At the heart of it all, a dam he built with his own battered hands, after a flood nearly drowned this valley. That dam was more than stone and timber. It was a monument to stubbornness, a bulwark against the mountain's wrath, signed over to me in a will as clear as spring water. For years, I lived quietly. Worked in town, spent weekends mending fences, walking the dam's crest, watching the seasons sweep gold and green across the hills. I thought peace was mine. Then came the letter, crisp, white, stamped with the gold seal of Stone Creek HOA. I wasn't part of any HOA. My land sat outside their reach, protected by old zoning, grandfathered in before the world got greedy. But the letter claimed my property now fell under their community review, thanks to new county maps slipped through in a midnight vote. Curiosity curdled to fury when I stormed into the next town meeting. There, a developer with slick back hair flashed glossy maps, my land, swallowed whole by Stone Creek's expansion, as if I'd never existed. That's when I met Miranda Hale, HOA president. A predator in pearls, her smile sharp as a razor. She played innocent, head cocked like a curious bird. Just a survey correction, she said. All perfectly legal. I left that meeting with dread gnawing at my gut. The invasion came fast. Surveyors trampled my fields, neon flags sprouting like poison. Then the bulldozers came, tearing roads through the pasture where Amos taught me to ride. Foundations for 58 luxury homes rose in crooked grids before I could even catch my breath. I fought back. Hired a lawyer, Tom Carver, a good man, but even he flinched at the names on the paperwork. County clerks dodged my calls. Complaints vanished. Miranda's smile never faltered, her board nodding like marionettes. They painted me as the madman, the relic clinging to faded deeds. At the next meeting, Miranda's voice dripped with false sympathy. Take our offer, Elias. Don't let progress leave you behind. I stood, voice echoing off the walls, and swore I'd never sell what my family built. The room fell silent. That's when things turned ugly. Violation notices piled up on my truck. Fines for imaginary code breaches stacked higher than the new roofs. One morning, a sign appeared in my yard, no trespassing, Stone Creek development. The sheriff shrugged. Civil matter, he said. Every door slammed shut. A clerk at the county office, risking her job, whispered the truth. Stone Creek was buying council seats, greasing palms, bending rules in back rooms. I was outgunned, outmaneuvered, outvoted. Every protest I filed met a countersuit. They accused me of harassment. I couldn't win head-on. So I did what Amos would have done. I went quiet. Stopped showing up. Let the stakes stay in my fields. Nodded politely when Miranda waved from her black SUV. While they toasted their victories, I gathered evidence, photos of every violation, every felled tree, every ignored regulation. I recorded conversations, saved letters, dug up their dirty zoning tricks. In Amos's old workshop beneath the dam, I built a fortress of proof, biding my time. They thought I was beaten. They didn't know the land. They didn't understand the dam. 80 years ago, a flood swept this valley clean. Amos, just a boy, hauled sandbags with neighbors, helpless against the muddy tide. When the water receded, he swore it would never happen again. He wasn't an engineer, just stubborn. He spent years building that dam, stone by stone, with nothing but grit and will. It held back the mountain's fury, kept the valley dry while others drowned. But memory fades. The HOA saw the dam as an eyesore, something to flatten for fountains and cul-de-sacs. They paved over drainage, rerouted creeks, and one day I watched from the trees as a backhoe tore into the dam's shoulder. Not deep, but enough to wound it. I wanted to scream, to fight. Instead, I stayed hidden. They didn't just disrespect the land, they never knew it. That was their undoing. I stopped tending the dam. No more patching leaks, no more clearing channels. I let debris pile, silt gather, pressure build. I became a ghost, wandering the woods while they threw barbecues on half-cured patios. When the fall rains came early, I sipped coffee on my porch, watching puddles form in their perfect lawns. Winter bled into a sodden spring. I walked the dam's edge, noting the cracks, the sagging earth where their machines had bitten deep. I didn't break the dam. That would be a crime. I just stopped saving it. Nature doesn't need help to settle old scores. Their arrogance hurried the end. Storm drains clogged. Lawns slid into muddy ponds. Rerouted creeks rebelled, ignoring blueprints. The first big storms were a warning: sinkholes, flooded basements. Miranda blamed the weather, ordered more dirt, more fees, more fixes. They ignored the trembling ground beneath them. I stayed silent, nodding at Miranda's hollow boasts at the gas station. It wasn't revenge. It was justice, old as the mountain. Then the rainy season struck like a hammer. The first storm rolled in, relentless, drumming the valley until the air thrummed with tension. From my porch, thermos in hand, I watched the rain swallow the hills, mist curling over Stone Creek. Porch lights flickered like fireflies.